Welcome back to the Bond Factor. I have to ask, what did you think of Chris Wallace? You know, he was the first guy to actually come out of the Fox News organization and provide us with a debate, and he's receiving very little criticism at this point for his performance, which I totally agree with. I agreed with that when we did our original live coverage the other night. Sort of as my first reaction. I'll go ahead and roll with that. I thought that Wallace did a good job. I thought the last debate was actually pretty good. Welcome back, Bond Factor. Hope you're having a good night. Going to take us straight to the internet now, see if we can fish around a little bit. You may remember Trey Gowdy. We played this earlier when he challenged the press on Benghazi. on Benghazi. Trey Gowdy on Benghazi. Not what I meant to say, but what I mean to do is play this for you for a moment and see. I think
Jimmy,
it's great.
We will not waver in our commitment to see that justice is done for this terrible act in Benghazi. And make no mistake, justice will be done. That was the President of the United States over a year ago. We're investigating exactly what happened. But my biggest priority now is bringing those folks to justice. That was the President of the United States.
Well, and Trey Gowdy has done a fantastic job of maintaining that ethic. He has continued to pursue people that have been responsible for what happened in Benghazi. And he asked some fantastic questions here that I think probably could or should be asked by just about anyone that's heard and knows what happened in Benghazi.
Over a year ago. No one has been arrested. No one has been prosecuted. No one has been brought to justice. We don't even have access to the witnesses. You and the media were good enough for my 16 years as a prosecutor not to tell me how to do my job. And so far in Congress, y'all have been good enough not to tell me how to do my job. I'm not telling you how to do your job. But I'm going to ask you some questions. And if you can't answer these questions, then I'll leave you to draw whatever conclusion you want to draw about whether or not the media has provided sufficient oversight. Can you tell me why Chris Stevens was in Benghazi the night that he was killed? Do you know?
Can you tell us?
Does it bother you whether or not you know why Chris Stevens was in Benghazi? Do you know why we were the last flag flying in Benghazi after the British had left and the Red Cross had been bombed? Do you know why requests for additional security were denied? Do you know why an ambassador asking for more security
here, also a warrior
days and weeks before he was murdered and those requests went unheeded? Do you know the answer to why those requests went unheeded? Do you know why no assets were deployed during the siege? And I've heard the explanation, which defies logic, frankly, that we couldn't have gotten there in time, but you know they didn't know when it was going to end. So how can you possibly cite that as an excuse? Do you know whether the president called any of our allies and said, can you help? We have men under attack. Can you answer that? Do any of you know why Susan Rice was picked? The Secretary of State did not go. She says she doesn't like Sunday talk shows. That's the only media venue she does not like, if that's true. Why was Susan Rice on the 5 Sunday talk shows? Do you know the origin of this mythology, that it was spawned as a spontaneous reaction to a video? Do you know where that started? Do you know how we got from no evidence of that to that being the official position of the administration? In conclusion, Congress is supposed to provide oversight. The voters are supposed to provide oversight. And you were supposed to provide oversight. That's why you have special liberties, and that's why you have special protections. I am not surprised that the President of the United States called this a phony scandal. I'm not surprised that Secretary Clinton asked, what difference does it make? I'm not even surprised that Jay Carney said Benghazi happened a long time ago. I'm just surprised at how many people bought it.
Mic drop. Thank you, Western Journalism. And you can see right there, Trey Gowdy walks out. Literally walks out. You know, we're not dealing with that anymore. No. I mean, some ugly stuff going on. Brings me to another point about election corruption and the Russian connection, which we'll be back here in a minute. But I just want to point out that you have Gowdy and Chaffetz. There are warriors in the fight still that are hanging out and making sure, or I guess doing the best they can to ensure that we make it through. And this war with Russia needs to be looked at and examined. We're living in corrupt times, and we need somebody, I think, like Trump to come in that's not corrupt and straighten it out. And you can, I guess, decide if you agree with me. We'll be right back.